Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tuts, and today I'm going to be talking about a new feature in Sass, and it's the at content. And what the at content allows you to do is it allows you to use a mixin that accepts a block of content. So typically you're used to writing mixins that you're just, placing wherever you'd like. Well, what if you'd like to place code up inside of a mixin? Well, this is really useful for something like media queries. And so I'm going to do an example right now using media queries and showing you how awesome add content is, okay? So the first thing we need to do is create our mixin. And this is just going to be, I'm going to do the way we normally do a mixin. So add mixin, and then the name of our mixin, which I'll just call phone, okay? And we're going to wrap this in brackets, just like normally, okay? And then now we're going to do some different stuff. I'm going to do a media query the same way you would normally do a media query. Media, and then I'm actually shrink this code down so you can actually see it. Okay, so we have our media query here, right? The media is only the screen size, or only screen, and max width of 480 pixels. Okay, and inside here we're going to put an at content. So right here we're going to put at content. Okay, and so this is the new bit right here. This add content allows you to drop anything you want inside of this mixin, and it allows you to use this media query. So let's do an example. Let's say we're working within main div on our site, and inside here we have the we have a class called header, right? So in our header we want to do let's just say a width of 80%, and then a margin of 0 in auto, okay? Height of 200 pixels. So this is our header, but let's say for the mobile version of the site, we actually want the header to have a width of 100%. Well, now, instead of having to write your media queries at the end or something like that, you can do it right in here in a way that really fits nicely into your CSS and really keeps things organized, I think. So we can do at include, and then just the name of our mixin, so phone, the same way we'd normally do a mixin here. You're including your mixin, but then we'll do a bracket, and inside of our brackets we're going to put dot header, which is the same class we had before, and inside of our header we're going to say the width is 100%. So now, in normal circumstance, for everything except for a screen with a max width of 480, your header is going to be 80%. But now, under the circumstance that your screen is less than 480 pixels, it's going to use this header 100%. So let's save this, and then let's click over here, and we can see exactly what it's doing. Okay, let's actually space this out a little bit so you can see. Okay, so we have our normal main header. Our main header is getting a width of 80, whatever, just like we would expect. And then it writes out our media query, and inside of our media query, we have our main header width is equal to 100%. Okay, if you're used to working with media queries, I think you will know how awesome this is. I personally really like the organization of it. It keeps this stuff really close together, and now if I want to adjust this header, I don't have to go looking either on another style sheet or at the bottom or something like that. It's just right here, and it's really efficient. So this is the at content. You can drop a block of content. Whatever you put in here is going to get placed inside of this mixin, and that will then go inside of your CSS. So that's the process of it. This goes into this, and then this comes right back into here, and then you have awesome code, and it weaves your media queries right in. And I'm sure there's all sorts of other great uses that anybody can find. Just keep playing around with it. But yeah, so this is at content. I hope you really like it. Check it out. It's something that I've really been enjoying in my Sass lately. So one quick thing that I should mention is that the content passed to a mixin is evaluated in the scope of where the block is defined, not the scope of the mixin. So to show that in an example, if we have something, let's have a variable, and we want to say this is the width, and we define this width as being 50%. So this is accepting a variable, however, we're going to give it a default, so we can say the width, and then the default is 80%. Okay, so if we then were to pass this width down here, and we were to try to pass this the variable and say width, it's not going to use this 80%. It's going to use the global 50%. So let's save this, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, you can see that it's gotten the 50% and not the 80% here as defined in the mixin. So what that means is that variables that are defined in the mixin itself cannot be used within this passed block of styles, the at content. You can't use variables that are defined in the mixin in this at content, okay? So just be aware of that. Play around, like I said, play around with it and see if you can like break it or just see what you can do with it, okay? Cool. So as always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment in the video. Hit us up at LevelUpTuts at Twitter, and just let us know what you're thinking. Once again, this is Scott, and thanks for watching.